You've seen who you really are. Awareness changed you. We are not starting over. We are starting inside. You've touched the quiet that doesn't ask for permission. Good. Now we make it operational. This is not about higher states. It's about a higher standard. The world won't slow down for your clarity. It will try to spend it. Your job is simple. Don't leak. Here's the frame. Awakening in silence is rehearsal. Awakening in contact is the real thing. Anyone can be clear alone. Few stay clear in the room. The call, the conflict, the deadline, the family dinner, the negotiation, the loss, the win. That's where we work now. Ordinary life, zero theater, full presence. Start with posture, not shoulders. Authority. Authority is not dominance. Authority is undeniability. You don't announce it. You inhabit it. When noise pulls, you don't push back. You remain. When urgency arrives, you don't sprint. You decide. When praise or insult touches you, you don't inflate or collapse. You stay. This is not an attitude. It's a position. Clarity must become your default speed. Not slow, correct. You can move fast, but you don't rush. Rushing belongs to doubt. You can wait, but you don't hesitate. Hesitation belongs to fear. You speak when speaking is true, not when silence is uncomfortable. You act when action is clean, not when anxiety demands motion. That is how presence becomes visible. Now, standards. If you don't set them, the world will set them for you. A clear yes, a clean no, no story attached. You are not hostile. You are exact. You don't explain your existence. You don't negotiate your ground. Explanation is for logistics, not identity. The moment you explain yourself to be allowed to be yourself, you've paid with authority to buy belonging. Stop paying. Next, attention. Attention is your currency. Spend it where reality compounds. Most lose themselves by funding what drains them. Arguments that prove nothing. Screens that numb. Rooms that require performance. Plans built on fear. Your attention is a sovereign fund. Allocate it where it returns alignment, health, craft, service, study, stillness, decisive action. Everything else gets cut. Emotions. You will feel them fully. You will not be owned by them. Anger is heat, not identity. Sadness is weight, not identity. Fear is tightening, not identity. Joy is expansion, not identity. Feel everything, abandon nothing. The one who watches remains. That watcher makes adult decisions while the body completes its weather. This is how you stop apologizing for your humanity and stop worshipping it. Relationships, connection without collapse, care without compliance, respect without self-erasure. You are not obligated to mirror someone's storm to prove loyalty. That is not empathy, that's fusion. Real empathy means seeing another clearly without losing orientation. Your nervous system stays yours. Their urgency stays theirs. You do not borrow anxiety to appear kind. You offer clarity because it is kind. Work. Trade outcomes for standards. The outcome is not under your control. Your standard is. Deliver clean. Communicate early. Own errors without theater. Cut the excuses. Refuse the drama loop of blame and image management. When you miss, you correct. When you hit, you don't bask. You keep the cadence. Consistency replaces intensity. Gaps close. Trust compounds. This is what competence feels like from the inside. Calm. Conflict. You will not be baited by tone. You respond to content. If there is truth, you act on it. If there is only noise, you let it pass. You don't duel egos. You don't trade accusations. You do not litigate your worth. You decide what is yours to carry and what is not. Then you put your feet where your decision says to stand. That is the whole technique. Time. Stop outsourcing your life to later. Later is the ego's shelter. Presence is the only place decisions are real. If something matters, set it on the calendar and keep the appointment with yourself like you would keep it with the head of state. You are not busy, you are undisciplined with attention. Correct that, and time expands. Desire and fear, they are the twin leashes. You don't cut them by force, you cut them by accuracy. Ask, if I weren't afraid, what would I stop chasing? If I didn't crave recognition, what would remain worth doing? Then do that. Watch how much of your life evaporates when you subtract performance. What stays is true. What stays becomes durable. That durability is peace. Identity. You are done decorating the mask. No enlightened costume, no mystical posture, no new persona to defend. Simplicity is the blade. Let people think what they think. Your job is not to correct misunderstanding. Your job is to be unmistakable in action. The people who can see will see. The rest are not your audience. Discipline. You don't wait for motivation. You don't bargain with mood. You don't binge effort and call it progress. You keep promises to yourself at small scale. Every day, especially invisible ones. Wake when you said. Train when you said. Build when you said. Reflect when you said. Rest when you said. This is how you teach your nervous system that your word is law. Speech, fewer words, more weight. No hedging, no apology packaged as courtesy. No filler to avoid silence. Say the thing and stop. Silence is not emptiness. It's authority resting. Let others rush to fill it. You will learn more by listening than you ever will by defending. Failure and success. Neither defines you. Both test you. Failure tests whether you cling to image. Success tests whether you cling to identity. In both you remain. Correct the inputs. Keep the cadence. The game is not to feel bulletproof. The game is to become unconfused. Environment. Choose rooms where clarity is normal. If the room needs you smaller, leave. If the room punishes boundaries, leave. If the room requires performance to be allowed, leave. Your future needs air. Do not argue with rooms that cannot provide it. Build new rooms. Invite only those who can breathe there. Daily anchor. Morning. Return to your seat. Not long, true. 2 minutes of reality is stronger than 20% of performance. Scan the day for 3 decisions that carry weight. Make them now. Set the standard once. Keep it all day. Evening review without self-attack. What leaked? Where did you trade clarity for comfort? Correct the system, not the self-image. Sleep clean. You will be misunderstood. You will be called cold by the unstable, arrogant by the insecure, distant by those who rely on fusion, intimidating by those trying to control you through emotion. Do not harden. Root. Let reputation be their work. Let coherence be yours. This is not about being above anyone. It's about no longer being below your own standard. You don't ask life to be easy. You become straightforward. You don't ask people to handle you gently. You handle yourself precisely. You don't ask for faith. You demonstrate reliability until doubt has nothing left to grip. Remember the simplest truth. Nothing outside you defines you. Things happen. You remain. Feel fully. Decide clearly. Move cleanly. Repeat. That's the entire method. When you walk out of this moment, do nothing dramatic. Close one loop you've been avoiding. Set one boundary you've been postponing. Keep one promise you keep breaking. Then sleep. Tomorrow, do it again. 5 straight days will change your posture. 5 straight weeks will change your life. 5 straight months, and people will call it presence. You'll know it's just clarity kept. We are done with rehearsal. Bring your silence into motion. Stay in your seat while you move. Let the world adjust. It will. Do not relocate to comfort. Remain in the clarity you earned. Identity loosened. Now we examine what built it. You did not wake up in a neutral world. You woke up in a system. From the moment you arrived, you were taught to look outward before looking inward. Approval before awareness. Obedience before truth. Repetition before inquiry. Not by accident, by design. Every society begins with a question: how do we create order? The answer has always been the same. Control perception, and you control behavior. Not through force, through belief. The most effective prison is the one the prisoner defends. Look back honestly. When did you first learn to doubt yourself? When did you first learn to fear standing alone? When did you first believe belonging was survival? You think those conclusions were personal. They were programmed, not malicious, structural. A human condition to seek approval is easy to guide. A human who cannot sit alone will accept any authority that promises certainty. A human who fears silence will cling to noise as life. The system does not need to oppress you. It only needs you to remain distracted. You are not fighting institutions. You are dissolving internal programming. The world does not imprison you with bars. It imprisons you with definitions. Normal, success, failure, right, wrong, accepted, rejected. None of those arose from truth. They were assigned to keep structure intact. Observe your reactions right now. A part of you wants to resist this idea. Another part knows it is accurate. Another watches both. That watcher is the only part that was never conditioned. Everything else was taught. Here is the mechanism. The world gives you an identity. You defend it. They never need chains. A self built by external input must forever seek external permission. That is the trap, and you are stepping out of it, not by rebellion, not by war. War only binds you to what you fight. You dissolve the system by withdrawing belief from it. Recognition is rebellion. Awareness is refusal. Stillness is sovereignty. Look at the machine, not with anger, with clarity. A system built on perception unravels when perception returns to self. You are not escaping the world. You are stepping outside its hypnosis. And when you see the strings, you are no longer the puppet. Stay here. This is the beginning of true perception. Remain steady. Seeing the system is not enough. You must see how it entered you. The world does not control through force. It controls through meaning. It teaches you what to value. Before you know what value is, it teaches you what to fear. Before you know what danger is, it teaches you who to be. Before you know, you have a choice. Look carefully. You did not choose your first language. You did not choose your first beliefs. You did not choose what success meant. You did not choose what failure meant. You did not choose what was normal. You inherited those frameworks. Not truth, conditioning. And like most, you called conditioning personality. You learned to measure your worth by external metrics. Approval, money, status, praise, belonging, certainty. Those measurements are not neutral. They are levers. A person whose worth depends on the external must obey the external. Not because they are weak, but because they were trained to equate approval with survival. A brilliant trick. Convince a human that acceptance keeps them alive, and they will police their own mind. Every time you chased validation, who benefited? Every time you feared judgment, who held power? Every time you bent to expectation, what part of you shrank? Not your freedom, your awareness. Awareness cannot be commanded, so the world trained you to prioritize belonging over truth. Watch the reflex surface. To be safe, I must be understood. To matter, I must be seen. To have value, I must be accepted. Those are not truths. They are implants. Self-doubt is not natural. It is installed. You were never broken. You were conditioned to doubt what was never missing. And conditioned beings do not need cages. Only beliefs. You stayed small, not because you lacked ability, but because you feared exile from the tribe, the oldest control mechanism in human history. Belong or die, not physically, psychologically, but here, in awareness, belonging is optional. Validation is irrelevant. Approval is silent. And the moment you realize this, the structure loses its grip. A system built on unconscious obedience cannot survive conscious perception. Do not resist it. Do not fight it. See it. Clarity is liberation. Seeing the strings is enough. You are not rejecting the world. You are remembering you are prior to it. The world conditioned your mind. It never touched your awareness, and awareness has returned. Stay here. You have seen the conditioning. Now, see the machine that maintains it. The world does not trap you with rules. It traps you with thought, not thinking. Compulsion to think. A mind that cannot stop moving, never sees what is moving it. Notice your thoughts now, not their content, their motion, like a stream that never rests. It pulls you into identification. I must figure out. I must plan. I must defend. I must control. Thought convinces you that your existence depends on it. But tell me, if thought is essential for existence, who is aware of thinking? You exist prior to thinking. Thinking exists within you. Thought is not the source. You are. The illusion is not noise. The illusion is identification with noise. You do not suffer from thinking. You suffer from believing every thought is you. The world trained you to trust thought. More than awareness, schools reward answers, not perception. Society rewards strategy, not stillness. Culture rewards certainty, not truth. And so the mind learns to dominate, not because it is wise, but because it was never questioned. Most thoughts are not yours. They are echoes, memory, projection, fear, habit, approval, image management, survival rehearsals. The mind replays old patterns to feel in control. It does not think, it repeats. Watch it. Observe how it tries to anticipate danger, rehearse conversations, rewrite the past, predict outcomes, manage perception, control. The ego does not seek truth, it seeks safety. And safety for the ego means one thing: maintain the known self. Even if the known self is suffering, it prefers familiarity to truth. Freedom begins, not when thought stops, but when thought loses authority. You do not need to silence the mind. You simply need to stop serving it. The mind can speak. Awareness does not obey. That is sovereignty. Look at a single thought as it appears. Do not follow it. Do not resist it. Just see it arise, float, and dissolve. Notice. You remain. You are the space thought happens in, not the thought. Awareness is not something you practice. It is what you are when practice stops. The world conditioned your mind to believe its noise is life. Now you are seeing. Silence is not the absence of life. Silence is life without distortion. A quiet mind is not empty. It is clear. A mind that stops fighting for attention finally becomes useful. Thought becomes a tool again, not a tyrant. Remember this. The illusion was never thinking. The illusion was believing thinking was you. And now you see the difference. That is the crack. Through that crack, the real enters. Stay here. You have seen the conditioning. You have seen the machinery of thought. Now see how the world maintains the illusion. Systems do not enforce themselves alone. They recruit minds to protect them. How? By using mirrors made of other people. Observe, you act, and immediately your mind imagines how others see it. You speak, and immediately you wonder how it was received. You choose, and immediately you measure the social reaction. Your behavior is not driven by truth, but by anticipated perception. Most humans do not live lives. They perform roles. They worship approval and fear exclusion. They call it fitting in, it is obedience. They call it normal, it is surrender. See the mechanism clearly. When you follow the group, you are praised. When you question, you are ridiculed. When you conform, you are safe. When you stand alone, you are labeled arrogant, naive, dangerous, lost, not because you are wrong, but because your independence threatens their dependence. People defend the illusion, not because it is true, but because they are terrified of existing without it. To them, truth feels like instability. Awakening feels like death. Freedom feels like exile, because they have never known themselves without permission. Understand this. The masses do not mock the awakened, because they see emptiness in them. They mock them, because they see a freedom they are not ready to claim. Ridicule is not an attack. It is a confession. It says, I am not brave enough to leave my cage, so I resent those who stepped out. This is why awakening demands strength. Not mystical strength, human strength. The strength to be misunderstood, to be seen without explanation, to walk without applause, to exist without agreement. Not rebellion. Recognition. Every structure you once trusted, family, society, authority, tradition, was not teaching you to be yourself. They were teaching you to be predictable. Predictability serves systems, not souls. Now observe the shift. You are no longer afraid of their gaze. You are studying it. You are no longer shaped by judgment. You are witnessing it. Other minds are no longer authorities. They are reflections, and reflections cannot control the one who sees. Truth does not isolate you. It isolates illusions from you. This is the beginning of true independence, not separation from others, but separation from their narratives. You do not need to leave the world. You simply stop asking it who you are. And when the world no longer defines you, it can no longer confine you. Remain in that awareness. Do not rush to feel powerful. Power does not rush. Just see. That is enough. Stay in the stillness. You have seen the mirrors. Now see the strings. Every controlled mind is held in place by two forces, fear and desire. One pushes, one pulls. Together they form the leash. Look honestly. When you obey the world, is it because you are free, or because you are afraid of losing something? Approval, status, security, identity, love, fear of loss is the oldest prison on earth, and the bars are invisible. Now look at desire. You chase goals, images, achievements, recognition, comfort, certainty. You call it ambition. Often it is escape. Escape from feeling inadequate. Escape from being ordinary. Escape from sitting with yourself. Desire dresses itself as purpose, when often it is just fear wearing perfume. Do not mistake this for judgment. This is dissection, clean, clinical, honest. Freedom does not come from destroying fear or desire. It comes from seeing the strings and choosing not to dance. Ask yourself without decoration, if I were not afraid, what would I stop chasing? If I did not fear failure, who would I stop performing for? If desire lost its power, what would remain worth doing? Let the questions cut. Do not rush to answer. Answers are often defenses. Sit in the discomfort. Let clarity arrive on its own schedule. Understand this. The system does not need to punish you. It only needs to program your fear. Fear does the policing. Desire does the herding. The illusion sustains itself through your emotional leash, and the leash tightens. Every time you act without awareness, now see the shift. Fear loses power the moment you face it, instead of negotiating with it. Desire loses power the moment you question it, instead of chasing it. Control collapses the moment you stop reacting and start observing. This is not rebellion. This is maturity. Ego reacts. Awareness sees. Feel something quietly inside you. A space where neither fear nor desire commands. A still place, unafraid to lose. Uninterested in applause. Not empty. Unbound. That is who you are without the leash. Freedom is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to obey it. Power is not the fulfillment of desire. It is the ability to stand without it. You do not conquer the world by force. You slip out of its grasp by clarity. Fear and desire are not your rulers. They are weather passing through your sky. Do not fight them. Do not worship them. Just see them. Seeing is exit. Awareness is escape. And once you see the leash, you cannot pretend it is freedom. Remain here. Let the mind adjust. This is sovereignty beginning to breathe. Stay steady. You have seen fear. You have seen desire. Now see their silent partner. Time. Not time as clocks. Time as identity. Time as pressure. Time as story. The most effective way to keep a human asleep is to convince them they are on their way. Observe this lie. You are not enough yet, but you will be one day. If you earn it. If you achieve enough. If you struggle enough. If you become worthy. This idea does not motivate. It enslaves. It binds your worth to a future that never arrives. Because you never decide you are enough, you wait to be told. Look closely. The system does not ask you to be awake. It asks you to chase awakening, to chase success, to chase identity, to chase arrival. Chasing is captivity disguised as progress. Become aware of the trick. A mind obsessed with the future cannot see the present. A self trying to become cannot recognize that it already is. A consciousness waiting to arrive remains exiled from itself, and society smiles because a human chasing approval never challenges the system that defines approval. You were trained to measure your life by milestones: education, career, status, accumulation, performance, legacy. You call it ambition. Often it is deferral of existence. You postpone your life. In the name of becoming someone, you already are. Now feel the pressure you've carried. I must hurry, I must improve, I must catch up, I must prove my place. Whose timeline is that? Whose standard? Whose clock? A borrowed urgency, a programmed race. And you ran not toward truth, but away from inadequacy. Freedom begins here. Stop trying to arrive. Arrival is the illusion. There is no later self who will save you. There is no future moment where you suddenly become real. There is no achievement that turns presence into worth. You do not earn existence. You are existence. Listen without resistance. The future is the ego's shelter. The past is its identity. The present is its death. This is why the present felt threatening. Not because it lacked meaning, but because it lacked story. And ego cannot breathe without story. Look now, when you stop running, nothing collapses. Fear does not erupt. Life does not end. Instead, reality becomes still, quiet, undemanding. sufficient. The moment you stop becoming, you begin being. And being was all that was ever real. You are not late. You are not early. You are not behind. You are not incomplete. You are here. And here is the one place illusion cannot follow. Remain exactly where you are. You have seen fear. You have seen desire. You have seen the trap of time. Now see the most subtle cage, the need to be someone important. Ego has many costumes. When it cannot dominate through status, it dominates through spirituality. When it cannot control through ambition, it controls through awakening. When it cannot win through noise, it wins through significance. Observe this quiet impulse inside. I must be exceptional. I must matter. I must leave a mark. I must be seen as awakened. Listen to the tone of those thoughts. They do not come from truth. They come from fear disguised as destiny. A subtle terror. If I am not significant, I disappear. But look closely. Existence does not need your importance. Existence needs your presence. Importance is a currency of the ego. Presence is the nature of the self. One demands recognition. The other simply is. Understand clearly. The true self does not strive to be great. It does not fear being forgotten. It does not chase legacy. It does not need applause or rejection. It exists without audience. It stands without witness. It breathes without being named. Presence is not small. It is infinite. Only ego believes the universe waits for its performance. This is the hardest surrender. Let go of the need to matter. Not because you are insignificant, but because significance was never required. The sun does not shine to be admired. It shines because shining is its nature. Real power does not announce itself. It does not dress itself in titles, or mysticism, or superiority. Real power is quiet, because it does not fear being unseen. Look at your impulse to be awakened. Even that can become performance. When silence becomes image, truth is lost. You are not here to be profound. You are not here to be special. You are not here to be extraordinary. You are here to be real, and reality does not need a witness. Ask gently, if no one ever recognized my evolution, would it still matter? If yes, you are free. If no, you are still performing. Do not judge this. Just see it. Seeing dissolves. The world taught you to chase recognition. Truth invites you to release recognition. Both paths lead somewhere. Only one leads back to yourself. Greatness without ego is service. Awakening without humility is illusion. Let yourself step back. Let yourself disappear, not physically, but psychologically. Disappearance is not death. It is return. When the need to matter falls away, something vast opens in its place. Not emptiness, but belonging. Not insignificance, but wholeness. Presence is enough. It always was. It always will be. Remain, do nothing. Everything that needs to fall is falling. Do not move inward or outward. Stay exactly here. We have cut through fear, desire, time, and importance. Now we remove the root, the belief that the mind is the self. Listen quietly. The mind does not fear truth. It fears losing authorship. It does not say, I want freedom. It says, I want to be the one who found it. Even here, it tries to lead the way. Even here, it wants credit. This is the last illusion. Notice the impulse to understand, to take this moment, package it into meaning, and store it as identity. That is the mind reaching for the crown again. Do not hand it back. Right now, you are standing where very few ever stand, between thought and awareness. The mind is watching you watch it. It feels exposed. It feels irrelevant. It feels like it is dying. It is not dying. It is being seen. And once seen, it loses the right to dictate reality. Observe this truth. A thought appears. You watch it. It fades. Another appears. You watch. It fades. You do not move. You do not break. You do not disappear. You remain. This is the moment the illusion collapses. When you realize you never needed the mind to exist. The mind was never the light. It was a tool sitting in the light. See the shift? You do not stop thinking. Thought stops controlling. You do not silence the mind. It becomes quiet on its own. You do not defeat ego. It steps back. Because it is no longer believed. Nothing dramatic, nothing violent, just clarity. The illusion ends not with a scream, but with a sigh. Look calmly at what remains. Awareness without effort, presence without definition, existence without permission. You are not thinking, you are witnessing. You are not becoming, you are being. You are not holding identity. Identity is falling from you like leaves in autumn, light, unnecessary, complete. Understand this without force. You are not the story. You are the space the story occurs in. You are not the role. You are the awareness that watched every role form and fade. You were never lost. You only believed the narration inside your skull. The narrator was never you. It was noise, inherited, conditioned, rehearsed. Now, you hear the silence beneath it. That silence is not emptiness. It is you. Do not reach for the next step. Do not try to grasp what comes next. Let the mind fall quiet, not because you commanded it, but because it finally knows. It is not in charge. You are not escaping the illusion. You have already stepped out. Remain here. The witness does not chase reality. The witness is reality. Before the world touches it. And now, you know,